And my first question going to be the easiest one. Can you say and spell your first and last name and tell me what you do at Innovation Law Lab?
I can. I'm Kelsey Provo, Kelsey. Provo is P as in Peter, Rov as in Victor O, and I'm one of the lawyers at Innovation Law Lab.
And so my first question for you is just going to be, is this lawsuit in direct response to the three people allegedly arrested in Woodburn on Wednesday, or has this case been in the making for a while now?
Yeah, so this lawsuit is in response to the sudden uptick that we've seen in Oregon of ICE enforcement activity, ICE arresting community members off the street in their homes outside of schools.
And so what is at the heart of this lawsuit? Is it primarily about access to counsel, or is there something broader about the administration's immigration strategy?
The lawsuit does center on access to counsel and the point that all people have constitutional rights, and what ICE is doing in our communities is violating the law, and they cannot do that. So we're going to the court to ask the court to intervene and to prevent ICE from continuing this unlawful behavior.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. What specific relief are you asking the federal judge for in the short term?
So, in the short term, we're asking for a temporary emergency order preventing ICE from transferring people out of state before they can speak with a lawyer, and to provide people who they've detained and who are here in the process of being detained access to lawyers so that they can exercise their constitutionally protected right to speak with a lawyer.
And let's talk about some of the allegations in the lawsuit. Clear, excuse me, Clear says that there are 20 instances since June where ICE has either denied access or moved detainees mid-visit. Can you go into some specifics on those allegations? How has ICE or DHS denied access?
Yeah, so I think if you look at the declaration from Josephine Moberg, in that declaration, she details three very specific instances. And what she details in her declaration is what we are seeing across the board in most cases. And I'll note the number 20 is the number of people that our plaintiff Clear Clinic has tried to access in that time period. It doesn't account for other people who've been detained and deprived of access to counsel in the last several months.
Thank you for that. And I do want to ask you too, how quickly do you expect the court to act?
We're hoping that the court will act as quickly as possible. We're monitoring. We would hope to get an order very soon today if we could. So we're monitoring.
And in response to this lawsuit, we reached out to DHS. DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin said, quote, "No lawbreakers in the history of human civilization have been treated better than illegal aliens in the United States. All detainees have been provided ample opportunity to communicate with their attorneys and family members, and every single detainee has received due process." What's your response to that claim?
My response is to look at the declarations and the allegations that we filed in our complaint, because that is what our plaintiffs and our community members are experiencing on the ground.
And I do want to ask about those community members too. What have you been hearing, apart from what was said in that declaration too, just about the impact that the increased presence of federal immigration authorities is having on communities, especially immigrant communities around Oregon?
Yeah, I mean, the Trump administration is very clearly targeting Oregon. They are targeting Oregon because we protect each other and because we believe that immigrants are vital to our prosperity and to our communities. And people are scared. I mean, the tactics are meant to be scary and to scare people. And I think that that is happening when family members are taken out of their homes, out of their cars, after they've dropped off their children at school. That does instill fear within the community.
And then I do want to ask too, if the court grants your TRO, what would change immediately for Oregon detainees?
If the judge grants the TRO immediately, anyone detained in Oregon, held at one of the ICE facilities should get access to a lawyer to advise them, meaningful access to advise them of their rights and to assess whether the detention is even lawful in the first place.
Thank you for that. And then is there anything else that you would like to, speak about in terms of this lawsuit, the broader implications of this lawsuit, and where we talked about the short term, but any long-term impacts that you expect this lawsuit to have?
Yeah, so I think I would just say that this lawsuit is about access to counsel and about making ICE follow the law. ICE is not above the law. The government must follow the law, and that's simply what we're asking.